In previous sections we discussed about the Constitution of India, and in the next section we discussed about the fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. Today's session we are going to discuss about the Union Executive. See, what is an Union Executive? Previous lesson already we studied that government had organs. What are the three organs? Legislature, executive, judiciary. So in that first one is executives. Executives means the ministers who are going to look after about the ruling is known as executives. So these executives are different in the as a federal government. Here the union executive, the central government has separate executives, and the state government has separate executives to look after the government. So in the union executives, the main persons are the president, vice president, the prime minister, and union council of ministers. See, who are they? The president, vice president, prime minister, and union council of ministers. So this composition structure of functions is on executives is laid in the article 52 to 78, where in article 52 to 78 discuss about the functions of union executives. So is once again, who are they? President, vice president, prime minister, union council of ministers. So the Constitution of India adopted the parliamentary form of executive for the government, both the national and state level. What is it? In the national and state level. So I told you, no, in national level these will look after who? President, vice president, prime minister, union council of ministers will look after the ruling. So now according to this system, president is head of the state. So he is the head of the state. President is the head of the state. So he is only as our country is a parliamentary form of government, he is only a nominal head. Who is he? He is only, president is only a nominal head, and the real executive powers lies in the hands of prime minister. See, as our country is a parliamentary form of government, president is only a nominal head, and the real executive powers lies in the hands of prime minister. So, and the prime minister and union council, prime minister and the union council of ministers assist to the president in exercising his powers and functions. Powers who will help president, prime minister, and union council of ministers helps to the president to exercise his duties. So the vice president acts. So the vice president acts as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. In parliamentary system, we have two sabhas. What are they? Lower house is Lok Sabha, upper house is Rajya Sabha. So here the vice president acts as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, and he plays an important role in the law making procedure. He plays an important role in law making procedure, and the prime minister being appointed by the president. Actually, who will appoint the prime minister? Prime minister is being appointed by the president, will endure addresses to the former in the matters of union government. Prime minister appointed by the president, and he will look after, prime minister will look after the union government. Okay, up here is it clear, everyone? Do you understand it? So once again, see, the president is a nominal head. He is a head of a union government, and a real executive head is Prime Minister, and Vice President acts as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, and Union Council of Ministers and Prime Minister helps to President to continue his to work. Now we are going to see detailedly about the President. Okay, so I told you President is only nominal head of the government, and he is called as the first citizen of India. What is that? President is called as a first citizen of India. According to Article 52, created the office of the President. According to Article 52, it was created office for President, and constitutional head of Indian Union. Who is the President? Is the constitutional head of Indian Union. Everything, bills are passed only after his signature. Okay. Next, who can become President? See, qualifications of President. Qualifications of President. What is the first one? He should be a citizen of India. What is the first one? He should be citizen of India. Second one, he should have completed the age of 35 years. He should have completed the age of 35 years. He should be qualified for elections as a member of the Lok Sabha. Okay, he should be qualified as a member of Lok Sabha, and he should not hold any office of profit under the union, state government or local authorities or local self-governments. So he should not hold any public offices under the union or state government or local authority or any public authorities. See, once again, you see what are the qualifications? See, he should be a citizen of India. He should have complete 35 years of age, and he should be a member of Lok Sabha. And another thing is, he should not hold any public office, understand, in the union government or state government or local government. He should not get any profit from any governments. Those are the qualifications of President. Now, elections. How can we elect President? Okay, the President of India shall elected indirectly by an electoral college. What is that? See, we elect President in indirect elections by electoral college consisting of the elected members of both the houses, Lok Sabha members and Rajya Sabha members. Both will elect the President. Okay, and the elections is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation. How the elections will conduct? The elections will conduct in a proportional representation method, by means only single transferable vote and in the secret ballot. What is that? Single transferable vote and secret ballot. Once again, see, he is elected. Elections will conduct, indirect elections will conduct for elect the President, understand, by electoral college consisting of the election members of both the Sabhas. What are both the Sabhas? Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, and the elections is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote, understand, by a secret ballot system. In that manner, we elect the President. Next, term of office. Term of office. So 5 years he will continue in the post. Term of office, 5 years from the date of issuing the power. Understand, he will continue in his post. How many years? 5 years. The date of issuing the power. He is eligible for re-election. After completing the 5 years of term, again he can elect. Understand? Again he can participate in the elections. So he is eligible for re-election. He is eligible for re-election even after the expiry of time. So if he completed 5 years of time, again he can continue in the office until the new president is elected. So the new president, when again he can continue in the post until the new president elects. Until that he can continue in his post. Okay, that is term of office. How many years he will continue in his post? He continues in his post for 5 years. Understand? And till after 5 years also, till the new president elects, he can continues in the post. Okay, that is a term of office. So salary and allowances. Salary and allowances. So, as the first citizen of India, he gets a monthly salary 1,50,000. He gets 1,50,000, and for every year, for meeting the expenses on traveling, entertainment, and towards the maintenance and everything, he gets 22.5 crores. Understand? He goes to other countries for meetings as a representation of India. He goes for other countries for all these understand expenses. He gets 22.5 crores for every year, and his salary is 1,50,000, and he gets all the facilities, understand, and he resides in Rashtrapati Bhavan. His official residence is called Rashtrapati Bhavan at Delhi. So he gets all medical, everything is free for him. Okay, you understood it? Once again, he gets salary 1,50,000 per month and 22.5 crores for every month every year expenditure for his meetings, to attend the meetings and for everything. And another thing, he resides in a residential Bhavan, Rashtrapati Bhavan. It is in New Delhi. Okay, next thing, impeachment procedure. Impeachment procedure. What is the meaning of impeachment? To remove as the first citizen of India, as the head of the government, understand, he cannot remove from his post as usually very easily. So we have to follow a method to remove the president from his post, that is known as impeachment procedure. Understand? Process of impeachment, when we can follow the impeachment procedure when he violates the constitution. When he violates the constitution. Understand? So it has the impeachment method has 4 stages. How many stages it has? Impeachment procedure has 4 stages. Okay, the first stage, the president office remains. First, what we have to do, vacant. Before that, we have to address the resignation letter to the vice president. Okay, and in the ability to perform, he can resign, but nobody can remove him from his post. He can resign. When he can resign, when he accepts that he is unable to do his duty in a proper manner due to ill health, Okay, he can resign. In the time it will be vacant. The second thing, by the death, if any president dies, that post will be vacant. And the third thing, removal for violation of constitution through the process impeachment. So the impeachment has 4 stages. What is the first stage? When they identified that he violated the constitution, he means here, if the president violated the constitution, understand, we have to give 14 days prior notice. How many days? 14 days prior notice, written and signed by not less than 1/4. Understand? Not less than 1/4 members in the Sabha. Okay, then it will pass by a majority and not less than 2/3 in the total members. Okay, that is first 14 days before we have to give a prior notice which is signed by not less than 1/4 of the total members. That is the first stage. And the second stage. What is the second stage? That impeachment procedure which was signed, approved resolution approved by first house will send to the second house. I told you what is the first house? Lok Sabha, second house Rajya Sabha. So first we have to produce that in first house in Lok Sabha, and it must approved there by 1/4 of the members, and it must be approved by 2/3 of the members. Then we have to send it to the second stage. The second stage, approved resolution approved in the second house, it will send to the second house. Second house means in Rajya Sabha. So after sending that to Rajya Sabha, the third stage, okay, the second house first it sees all the process into the charges. Okay, and they arranges a committee to inquire. Understand? They arranges a committee to inquire on it. Okay, and in that also 2/3 of the majority must agree. Inquiry. So in that inquiry, president can give his reasons and everything in the third stage. And the last one is fourth stage. After the completing the committee, 2/3 of majority of total members must approve. Understand? In the second house, then the president stands and removed from the office. This is known as impeachment. Till now any president was not removed from his post by the impeachment. Is it clear? Once again, we can remove the president by a process is called impeachment. So it has 4 stages. First stage, we have to give prior notice, 14 days prior notice to the president, and 1/4 members must agree for it. And the second one with 2/3, 1/4 must agree and 2/3 must be signed on it. And the second stage is we have to send that to the upper house, means Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha also 2/3 of the members must agree that one. And the third one, in Rajya Sabha, they arranges a committee, and in that committee they discusses about the violation, how he violated the constitution, that they discusses in the committee. And fourth stage is 2/3 members must agree, then he can remove from his post. That is the procedure is called as impeachment. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the powers and functions of president. I told you, no, he is the head of union government. So he has all the powers in his hands. Understand? He has more powers in his hands. So what are the powers? See, he has mainly two powers, ordinary powers and another one is emergency powers. What are they? Ordinary powers and emergency powers. Ordinary powers again have 5 types. Ordinary powers again it has 5 types. What are they? Executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers, military powers and diplomatic powers. Once again see how many powers he has. Actually has 2 powers. Those are ordinary powers and emergency powers. Here ordinary powers are divided into again 5 types. Those are executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers, military powers and diplomatic powers. Okay, and that is the first one. And emergency powers are divided into again 3 types. What are they? National emergency discussed under Article 352. Constitutional emergency discussed in Article 356. Financial emergency discussed in Article 360. See once again, what are the emergency powers of a president? 3 emergency powers are there for president. What are they? National emergency, constitutional emergency and financial emergencies. Okay, national emergency discussed in Article 352. Constitutional emergency is discussed in Article 356 and financial emergency discussed in Article 360. Okay, now we are going to see one by one the executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers and military powers. See. First, executive powers means appointing the important persons, appointing the important ministers is known as executive powers. Okay, see here, President appoints Prime Minister. First, the Lok Sabha, understand, the majority party leader, he elects him as a Prime Minister. So, he appoints a Prime Minister and next he appoints members of Union Council of Ministers. Whom he appoints? He appoints a Union Council of Ministers by the advice of Prime Minister. By the advice of Prime Minister. Next, he appoints the Attorney General of India. He appoints Attorney General of India. Attorney General of India means who look after the budget, financial matters of the country is known as Attorney General of India. So he appoints the Attorney General of India. The highest judicial power will be in his hands, and Comptroller and Auditor General of India, and the judges of Supreme Court and the judges of High Court. Whom he appoints? The judges of Supreme Court, the judges of High Courts and Union Commission members also appointed, chairmen and members also appointed by President. See what are his executive powers once again. He appoints Prime Minister. He appoints Prime Minister, and by advice of Prime Minister he elects members of Union Council of Ministers. Next, he elects the Attorney General of India and the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, the judges of the Supreme Court and the judges of the High Court and Union Service Commission chairmen and members are elected by the President. These are the executive powers. Okay. Next one is legislative powers. What is the second one? Legislative powers. Legislative powers. Legislature means in the parliament, the two houses is called as a legislature. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lower house and upper house. So the president is an integral part of the parliament. Understand? He is an integral part of the Indian parliament. He enjoys a vast more legislative powers. Okay, what he will do? What are the powers he has? He conducts the meetings of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. He conducts the meetings of two houses. He conducts the meetings of two houses. Understand? And he conducts the meetings in a dignity manner. Okay. And next one is he also dissolves the Lok Sabha on advice of Prime Minister. Understand? He can dissolve. Dissolves means he can stop. Understand? The legislature Lok Sabha. Okay. And the next one he addresses either houses and the houses of parliament. Understand? Both he addresses either the houses or both the houses of the parliament, and he also sends messages. Understand? To lower Sabha to Rajya Sabha houses from time to time what they have to do. Understand? Everything he plans and he informs to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And another thing is he nominates. Understand? The president nominates 2 members to Rajya Sabha and 12 members to Rajya Sabha and 2 Anglo-Indians to Lok Sabha. Once again, what is that? He conducts the meetings to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Understand? He conducts the meetings in a dignity manner. And another thing is that he sends the bills to Lok Sabha to Rajya Sabha, and he passes the messages to both the houses time to time. And another thing is that he sends the messages to both the houses in time to time, and he nominates 12 persons to Lok Sabha and 2 Anglo-Indians to Rajya Sabha. 2 Anglo-Indians to Rajya Sabha. Is it clear? So he appoints 12 members and 2 members, 12 members and 2 Anglo-Indians to Rajya Sabha. These are the legislative powers of president. And the third one is financial powers. What's the next one? Financial powers. He also enjoys great deal of financial powers. Understand? No money bill can pass without the signature of the president. No money bill was passed without the signature of the president. So every year at the beginning of the financial year, at the beginning of the financial year, the president will see that annual financial budget of the central union government, and he puts that before the Lok Sabha. Is it clear? Every year at the beginning of the financial year, the president will see the annual financial statements or the budget, and he laid before the parliament. Okay, parliament means both the houses. And another thing is that he appoints the chairman and other members of financial commission for every 5 years. Once again, he appoints the chairman and other members of financial commission for every 5 years. These are those financial powers of president. Once again, every beginning of the financial year, understand, no money bill is passed without his consent. So every year beginning of the financial year, the president will put the statement and he puts the statement in front of parliament, and the chairperson and other members of the financial commission were appointed by president for every 5 years. These are the financial powers of president. Next one is judicial powers. What is the next one? Judicial powers. Okay, and what are the judicial powers? See, he appoints President appoints the Chief Justice and other judges of Supreme Court and the Chief Justice and other judges of the State High Courts. He appoints. Next power of President is judicial power. Okay, so he is a supreme person, supreme power in the country. So he appoints the Chief Justice and other judges of Supreme Court and the Chief Justice and the judges of the State High Courts also. Once again, he appoints the Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court, and also he appoints the Chief Justice and judges to the State High Courts. And another thing is he can pardon, reprieve, respite, remission of any punishment of any offense. Okay, he can say pardon. Once again, you listen these words: pardon, reprieve, respite, okay, and remission of punishments and commute of any offense. Okay, and next thing is only he can seek advice from Supreme Court or any question of law or fact, but that is his wish that he can follow it or not. Okay, and these are the judicial powers of the president. Once again, you see, he appoints the Chief Justice and other judges of Supreme Court and Chief Justice and other judges of State High Courts, and he can pardon, reprieve, respite, remission of punishments in commute of any offense, and he can seek advice from Supreme Court or any question of which is belongs to the law, but that is his wish that he can follow it or not is up to his wish. These are the judiciary powers. And the next one is military powers. What is the next one? Military powers. So he is a supreme commander of armed forces of India. What are the armed forces? Army, Navy, Air Force. So he is the supreme commander of armed forces in defense forces in India, and he can declare war or conclude peace. That is, understand, he can declare a war or he can conclude it with a peace. He appoints, he appoints the main heads of the 3 armed forces, is Navy, Army and Air Force. Okay, these 3 heads appointed by defense heads will appointed by the president. Okay, these are his military powers. And the last one is diplomatic powers. What is the last one? Diplomatic powers. He appoints Indian diplomatic personnel to foreign countries. Understand? He appoints Indian diplomatic personnel in foreign countries, and he represents the nation in international forums. What is that? He represents the nations in international forums, and international treaties or agreements or negotiations are concluded on behalf of the president. Okay, So if we need to treat with any other country, understand, he is the main person, and however they are subjected, understand, to approval of the parliament. Okay, their approval by for the parliament. These are the, what are those? These are the ordinary powers of president. Ordinary powers of president. Okay, once again you see, executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers, diplomatic powers, military powers. See, now we are going to discuss about the emergency powers of president. Previously we discussed about ordinary powers of the president. Now we are going to discuss about the emergency powers of president. So, how many types of emergency powers are there? 3 types of emergency powers. What are they? National emergency, discussed in Article 352. Constitutional emergency, discussed in Article 356. Financial emergency, discussed in Article 360. So, now see, national emergency. See, when they proclaim the national emergency at the period of war, if the country, the state is declared war with any other country. So, when the period of war, external aggression or armed rebellion, okay, at that time they declare the national emergency. Once again see, at the period of war, external aggression or armed rebellion, in these times they proclaim the national emergency. At the time of the national emergency, federal form of the constitution changes into unitary. What happens? The federal form of the constitution changes into unitary. And the another thing is that the fundamental rights except Article 20 and 21. What are those? The fundamental rights except Article 20 and 21, and all other fundamental rights are suspended. Okay, the other fundamental rights are suspended. And so far, see, how many times the national emergency was proclaimed in India? See, first Chinese aggression in 1962. At that time, they announced national emergency. At that time, Chinese aggression in year 1962, and Indo-Pak war in 1965. Indo-Pak war in 1965. They announced national emergency, and Indo-Pak war in the context of Bangladesh liberation movement 1971, and opposition called for blocking Parliament in 1975. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4 times they announced a national emergency. Okay, next one is constitutional emergency. So, constitutional emergency, when they announce the constitutional emergency, when the ruling is not in a proper manner, that was informed by the governor at that time. Understand? The state government suspends and the president rule imposes in the states. That is known as constitutional emergency. Once again, when the ruling of the states is not in a correct manner, okay, then the president imposes his rule. That is known as constitutional emergency. So far, 124 times constitutional emergency was declared in India. And the third one was financial emergency. It was discussed in Article 360. The president is satisfied that a situation has arisen where the financial stability or credit of India or any part of India is threatened. Then he announces a financial emergency. At the time of the financial emergency, the salaries of the government officials will deduct, understand, deduct the salaries of government officials. Once again, when they announces the financial emergency, the president is satisfied that a situation has arisen whereby the financial stability or credit of India is threatened in any part of India, then they announces a financial emergency. In article, it was discussed in article 360. At this time, the official salaries, the government official salaries deducts. Okay, these are the emergency powers of president.